So I'm here on my daily walk in the jungle, and I wanted to make a video going over my favorite peptides, my experience with these peptides, updated dosing, and also talk about why I prefer peptides to anabolic steroids, why I prefer something like Tesamorelin for increased muscle mass, energy, vitality, sleep, compared to taking testosterone. Because as somebody who makes money offline, the way I look matters, but I also just want to feel the best that I can, have the most energy, have the most motivation, drive, hunger to go out there and make something happen, and cognitively to feel my best. So if there are things out there, compounds you can take, that if there are two versions of you, version one is tired, lower motivation, has a worse physique, just lower testosterone, isn't as excited about life and doesn't feel as good. And then there's a second version of you that has more energy, has more motivation to go out there, make things happen in the world, feels better, sleeps better, has a better physique, has higher testosterone, just has a better experience on this planet. Why would you not take those compounds that are going to unlock that experience for you? As long as there's no negative side effects. And for the past couple of years, I've been, I tell my friends, I want to hop on testosterone. I've heard you feel great mentally, more energy, more confidence, just, your experience is better, especially as a man. But testosterone comes with downsides. You lose your fertility after a couple of years, unless you're taking HCG with it, which that's a whole other conversation on whether HCG is actually good for you. But yeah, you shut down your natural testosterone production when you start injecting testosterone, because your testes recognize that there is an elevated level and they don't need to do their job anymore. That's where peptides come in, things like Retatrutide, Tesamorelin, I'll get to my favorites in a second, and Tesamorelin, that I found really improves your quality of life, drastically increases your energy levels, your focus. I mean, we'll talk about that too. But these peptides can have the same effect on your life of allowing you to be in a really good physical state, a great mental state, better sleep, better energy, better confidence, just feel better, while not suppressing natural levels. Like Tesamorelin increases your growth hormone in the blood. And it also, so the way it works is growth hormone kind of splits off in the body, and the body produces IGF-1 and one other thing that's similar to it, I can't remember right now. Growth hormone is only in the body, its half-life is about 30 minutes, and then IGF-1 and the other binding protein, I can't remember the name for it, I think IGF-1's half-life is about a day. So when you take something like Tesamorelin, it's a growth hormone secretagogue that causes your brain to make more GH, and then the benefits from the IGF-1 and the other binding proteins last for days. So you have more energy, you feel better, you sleep better, the cognitive effects, basically you get all of the benefits. But unlike injecting testosterone into the bloodstream, injecting growth hormone into the bloodstream, you don't suppress your natural production of the hormone. So you can get the benefits without the downsides, or at least a lot of the downsides, like testosterone or tren or any of these anabolics that at the very least are going to impair your natural production of test, and if not, wreck your liver and your other organs and shorten your lifespan, which most of us don't want. Okay, so getting into my favorite compounds. And first, let me say this is not medical advice. At some level, if you decide to inject peptides into your body, you are spinning the roulette wheel and hoping that it works out okay. Especially if you're taking things that, like Tesamorelin, something that tempers with your endocrine system. Does it have less risk than just pinning testosterone or growth hormone? Yes, but let's be honest with ourselves. If you're taking these things, that being said, we'll go from the bottom up. So my least favorite peptide. I've taken 5 peptides. Number 5, GHK. The girl that I was talking to got this peptide. It's a beauty peptide, a collagen one that is supposed to make your skin look great, and boost hair growth, which I'm scared I'm going bald, so I tried that. Didn't really work for me. Number 4, the other 4 that I've taken, I love. So this is going to be a toss-up in choosing my favorite. But I would say number 4 is L-carnitine. Still a fantastic compound. You can take it orally and still get most of the benefits. You don't necessarily have to inject this every day. But it aids in the transportation of fatty acids and allowing your body to use that energy more efficiently. So you're gonna have better energy and you're gonna be leaner. Good peptide, but it's a good peptide. I'll leave it at that. Number 3, I'm going to say Semax. This is more of a cognitive booster, and it's a little bit above L-carnitine. It boosts your energy, it boosts your thinking. I'm a little bit more creative, a little bit more energized and excited whatever I'm doing. Like, I remember the first time I took this, I was on my PS4, and I've never played that good. So it just makes you more into whatever you're doing, and I would say it's a subtler stimulant than coffee. It's not even categorized as a stimulant. It's technically a brain nootropic factor increasing compound. So it's supposed to aid in neurogenesis, the forming of new neural pathways. It's basically just a cognitive booster. So I'd rank that at 3. So the next 2 are heavy hitters. This is a toss-up for me, and it's different than how it is going to be for most people. For me, I'm going to put number 2 at Retatrutide. Retatrutide, I love this peptide. I've always had a problem staying super lean, and Reta is a GLP-1. It also is a glucagon receptor agonist, but it boosts your baseline metabolism. It really suppresses your appetite and supposedly has heart protective effects. GLPs like Ozempic get a bad rap. My personal experience with this is, well, first, if you want to learn more about Reta, go and watch my first video on YouTube. It's about Reta, and it's right around when I was starting it. So I kind of talk about my experience more in depth with taking it, and you feel like shit when you first start it. You feel like you're starting chemotherapy. But once your body adjusts to it and you get the right dosage, which that is probably the biggest update I've made in taking any of these compounds in the last couple of weeks, is I've really reduced my Reta dose. Well, I've reduced my frequency. So I'm out of breath. So a typical Reta has a 1-week half-life. So a lot of people take 1 milligram every week. But for me, that was really tough on my body. And right after I would inject for the next 2 or 3 days, I would feel terrible. So what I found works a lot better, and actually someone recommended this to me on that YouTube video, so thank you. But they, in the comments, said just pin it every other day at a much lower dose, and you'll still titrate up in the compound's abundance in your body because it has such a long half-life. So I started doing that. I take about 0.3 milligrams every other day, and I feel great. I actually feel better once I take it because of how it regulates your blood sugar. So is this a super long-term thing that you always want to be on? Maybe not, because it is a drug at the end of the day. But for me, it's improved my eating habits, and my diet is way healthier. So you could make the argument that even if GLP-1s are not healthy for you, the improvements in your blood sugar and just the rest of your body via improved diet, once you, like, eating a clean diet makes a huge difference on your life. And if you're taking Reta, at least for me, I have not had a cheat meal in weeks, and it makes it 100 times easier to eat clean. That alone is a huge benefit. For the number 1 spot, my favorite peptide has got to be Tesamorelin. This is a tricky one for me to dose, so we're talking about the dosing. I take this, I started taking it at night because that's how you're supposed to take secretagogues. A secretagogue is a peptide, I talked about this a few minutes ago, but it's a peptide that makes your body produce more of its own natural growth hormone. So ideally, you take this at night because your natural growth hormone pulse is about 90 minutes after you fall asleep, and then you'll have more growth hormone while you're sleeping. But for me, when I took it at night, I got super tired and I felt like shit. Then I switched to taking it during the day in the morning, right when I wake up, and I feel amazing. So much more energy, way more creativity. I feel like it's almost like your body's producing its own Adderall. I'm able to focus and think more creatively. It almost feels like that feeling when you have a really good night's sleep and you feel like a newborn baby. It's almost like getting, because you have your first GH pulse 90 minutes after you fall asleep. Then if you have a second GH pulse from the Tesamorelin in the morning, it feels like you just got that really good sleep, but for 10 days in a Wolverine healing chamber. Your brain just has more resilience and more like an energy from a deep place in your body. And cognitively, IGF-1, which is something that growth hormone produces, that has a longer half-life too. So this effect lasts for several days, stays in the blood. Its half-life is about 1 day. So the cognitive boost that you get from that, the added neurogenesis, which is the expansion of neural pathways in the brain. And I feel like these cognitive boosts that I get allow me to tap into thoughts that I would have otherwise missed, because it acts like a stimulant where it gives you more energy, but it's not like Adderall or caffeine where your focus is so narrowed that you lose creativity and you're stimmed up. Your brain is racing at 100 miles an hour. This is a more natural, slower boost of energy that, for me, I think allows my brain to get into a different energy frequency and to come up with solutions, to see perspectives that I wouldn't have otherwise seen. So yeah, this video's getting long, but I'm making more content on YouTube. Subscribe if you like the vid. Let me know your experience on peptides if you've taken any. Also, just remember, don't take my advice. You are spinning the roulette wheel if you inject anything in your body. So yeah, if you like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna be making a lot more videos coming up. If you didn't like the video, then fuck off. Also, why are you still watching it then?